Quick quiz. Which composer was one of the most important composers of the Romantic era and is still one of the most performed composers today? You're right, it's this guy. Allow me to tell you the tale of Fyodor Ilyich Tchaikovsky. Well, here we go. Fyodor Ilyich Tchaikovsky, better known as just Tchaikovsky, was a renowned Russian composer of the Romantic era, famous for his emotionally rich and melodically beautiful classical music. He was born on May 7, 1840, in Votkinsk, Russia, and is known to have shown musical talent at a very early age. Little Tchaikovsky was already playing the piano and reading sheet music by age 5. Yes, 5. Meanwhile, I was eating glue or whatever. This already sounds like the start of a genius story, except his parents had other ideas. Tchaikovsky, you're going to become government official. So in 1850, when he was 50 years old, they shipped him off to the Imperial School of Jurisprudence in St. Petersburg, where he trained to become a government official. Then, just 4 years later, his mother died. He was extremely close to her, and thus this loss deeply affected him for the rest of his life. Then, 5 years later, he got a job. Although he spent 9 years learning to be a government official, he was secretly in love with music the whole time. And therefore, in 1859, he got a job as a government official. After all the neglect of his true passion, at age 22, Tchaikovsky finally snaps. You know what? Screw it. I'm doing music. He quits the safe career path set for his life and enters the brand new St. Petersburg Conservatory to study music seriously. Except at that time in Russia, professional music education was still a very new idea and many people didn't really take it seriously. So this was a pretty risky move, but it sure was the right choice. By 1866, he's 26, and he's hired as a professor to teach at the Moscow Conservatory. So now he's teaching music, writing music, and slowly getting attention as a composer. During this time, he wrote symphonies, operas, and orchestral pieces, and over time, he achieved fame with pieces such as Symphony Number 1, Winter Daydreams, Romeo and Juliet, the Fantasy Overture, including Piano Concerto Number 1, which he wrote in 1875 at 35. Around this time, he also wrote Swan Lake, which premiered in 1877, and it flops, which is pretty surprising for a piece that would later become one of the most famous ballets on earth. In 1877, when Tchaikovsky was 37, he got married to Antonina Milyukova, a former student. Most historians agree that Tchaikovsky was gay, living in a society where that was dangerous and unacceptable. The marriage seems to have been an attempt to meet social expectations. It lasted only a few weeks, yes, weeks, before Tchaikovsky had a complete mental breakdown and leaves Russia. So, yeah, worst marriage speedrun ever. But then Tchaikovsky suddenly activates his plot armor because in 1877, a wealthy widow named Nazida von Meck becomes his patron, sending his money so that he could focus on writing music rather than teaching. Due to her support, Tchaikovsky enters the most productive period of his life and writes several famous pieces, such as Symphony Number 4, Violin Concerto, 1812 Overture, the one with the actual cannons, ballets such as Sleeping Beauty and The Nutcracker, and later Symphony Number 5. Now he's famous, traveling, and conducting his own music. In 1891, at 51, he even tours the US and conducts at the opening of Carnegie Hall in New York. Not bad for a former government official. In 1893, he finishes his final work, Symphony Number 6, the Pathetic. It's emotional, heavy, and ends quietly, very unusual for a symphony at the time. He conducts the premiere himself in October. 9 days later, on November 6, 1993, he dies at 53. The official cause of death is cholera during an outbreak in St. Petersburg, although some people still debate other theories. But cholera is what's documented. He's buried among the other major Russian composers, and his reputation only grows after his death. Today, Tchaikovsky is remembered for creating music that combines technical skill with deep emotional expression. His works remain central to concert halls and ballet stages around the world, and his ability to transform personal struggle into powerful music has made him one of the most enduring figures in music history.